Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth, and today from Crossway we have the ESV Heirloom Thin Line in the Horween leather. Now there are people that absolutely love the Horween leather and there are some people that are on the fence with it. I'm kind of in between. I like it, but my favorite is still always going to be their black goat skin. But let's take a look. First of all, it comes in this little handy box. I really do enjoy the packaging that Crossway does with their premium Bibles. Of course, it gives you their pledge and lets you know that this has a lifetime warranty. If anything ever happens, they'll replace that, no problem. And then it comes with like this nice little felt cover that kind of protects your Bible while it's in the box. This is a little bit easier to work with than those papers that sometimes you have to either tear or slide off that could possibly damage your Bible, but it also is not very conducive for training the yap. So let's take a look. Of course, you see the smooth Horween leather, and this is a waxy finish, so you'll see that when you press on it, it's going to have that pull-up effect. So that is very nice, and then when you put it back down, it does virtually disappear. Now you can make it permanent. You can see a spot right here where the yap was kind of folded over, and that is already a permanent spot in that. This is going to patina. This is going to age. I will go ahead and post my other Horween video that shows kind of how I accelerated the aging process. I'm not going to do that with this one, but you can see perimeter stitch to match. And I was disappointed that they did not attempt the gold stamping because I was under the impression that they were going to gold stamp this, but they didn't. And you can see like right there where it's folded, there's already some patina action going on there. But I do really like the tooled out hubs. I love their spine work. It is a little busy, but I do appreciate it. So really nice cover. Ribbons. You all know my feelings on Crossway ribbons. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they can't do this. These ribbons aren't that expensive. Crossway, come on. Do something about your ribbons. You have this beautiful heirloom quality Bible with the dinkiest ribbons I believe I've ever seen in my life. They are at least double-sided, so we'll give them that. So when you get to the liner, this has a brown cowhide liner. Really nice, really stiff. This is going to be a stiff cover. And one good advantage of a stiff cover is you've got this action to where it lays flat when you hold it in your hand, where like a floppy goat skin, you're going to have more of a flop. You are going to have those advantages and disadvantages. And as you break this one in, it can become more floppy as well. So let's take a look at the text block because this is a critical part. First of all, the art gilding looks really nice. I do love that salmony color, but you're going to see a lot of ghosting. And here's the reason you see a lot of ghosting. This is the Omega. Very similar layout. This is a 10-point font, some say an 11. This is an 8-point font. So let me get in the poetic settings where the ghosting is the worst. All right, and you can see the ghosting doesn't seem as significant in this one, even though this is the 28 GSM French Indopaque paper. But you can tell this seems to have more significant ghosting than this one. That is because this is not line matched. Line matching is a big deal when it comes to masking ghosting. You can see the line is not matched on the text behind this one. So that's going to create more ghosting. They did put the notes on the bottom and there are no references in this version, so you don't have to kind of deal with that wonky corner, one column being kind of shorter than the other. Although I don't mind that, that's definitely one of my least favorite referencing options. And then when you get into the paragraph format, you can see that this looks pretty significantly smaller. This is an 8-point font, and that's going to be a problem for some. If you have eyesight issues and you struggle with those smaller fonts, this layout isn't going to work for you. And one thing to note is that the block size is actually not that much smaller. Let me go ahead and fold this cover back so you can see. It's maybe an inch shorter, and its width is about, I'd say probably a ½ inch on each side. So you're not saving a ton of real estate, especially when you account for the yap. Because when I put the cover here, I mean, it's different, but it's marginal. So you're giving up quite a bit of font size for a block that's probably not going to be that much more convenient. And then when you consider thickness, this one is thinner, but it is negligibly thinner. I mean, I can barely tell, but the Omega is definitely a little bit thicker. This one is a little bit thinner. So there is a little bit more of a compact aspect to this. But I'm telling you, if I'm spending the money, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Omega because you're getting this beautiful line match layout and you're also getting that larger font. So it really depends on your eyesight. If you want something that's like the Omega but a little bit smaller, a little more compact, this thin line will work for you. But keep in mind that font is much smaller, and it also does not have those references. So if you're going to be looking for those references, you're going to be disappointed. Go ahead and go with the Omega. You're not going to be able to get it in the Horween because that's sold out, but you will at least be able to get that larger font, your references with your notes on the bottom. Of course, when you get to the back, you have your maps, and you're going to have your standard concordance that you have with all your Crossway Bibles. It is going to be a bit smaller. Even with the Omega, that's pretty small, but it is a little bit larger. So if I was choosing, if I had the choice, I'd go with the Omega. However, if you're looking for a brand new Horween option and you can handle this 8-point font, this is actually a nice layout. Even though the fact that it's not line matched does kind of get in the way, it's really not as bad as some people make it seem. I have no trouble, especially in the paragraph format, reading this. It is a bit of a wrestling match in the Poetic, but the text is nice and dark. There's really no issue with it. I can definitely endorse this and recommend it. It's a beautiful layout, beautiful paper, beautiful cover. It also comes in the goat skin. I also believe they have some thin lines available in their True Tone as well. So make sure you check those out if you want to save a few bucks. But there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nicholsworth.